when we talk about scales in math, we're talking about Ryan.
Like the number of something? Weight?
Weight. You mean like how much you weigh?
Yeah.
Not exactly, no, Alex.
Temperature?
Temperature is something. Things that we use scales for. Temperature was one. Let me actually jot that down. If you have a thermometer, we don't usually do thermometers anymore because of the age of digital stuff. It's all digital. But back when I was a kid, we had these little things called thermometers. Maybe you've heard of them?
Yes.
I have
And you were always said, whatever you do, if you break a thermometer, don't touch it because inside it contains mercury. Mercury is kind of cool stuff to play with because if you drop it or do something with it, it always comes back to a perfect ball. Like it splits into a bunch of perfect little beads, balls, kind of things, but it's not very good for you. So we're supposed to play with it. We use a scale with the thermometer. What else? Obviously, from the word scale itself. If somebody told you to step on a scale, that is what?
Like stuff?
Well, it's measuring, well, somebody already said it, the weight. You know, you step on a scale, you go on the outside and the inside thing, but you got this big thing here, you step on it, and there's numbers inside here that tell your weight. And then there's usually a little line in here. Anything else that you can think of that we measure and we use scales for? Who? Yeah, but what would you say we use it for though? Something that you have to look at and read a scale. Like you would read a thermometer or you'd read this thing here. Another thing you might do when?
Balance?
Well, a scale is a balance, but I'm looking for something that actually you have to kind of read. There's another balance here somewhere. Alex?
Height?
Those are things we measure, people. I'm looking for things that we, I'll give you how about think about your parents' car. Where do you see a scale, something that measures things on your parents' cars? Chupa, Sammy Bollinger? Yeah, we got that little thing called the speedometer. Okay, and then you have this little dial that points to, I don't know, usually we start at 0, I don't know.
Yeah.
0,
Some do, some
10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. I don't think they go much past 80, do they anymore?
Yeah, they do.
Oh,
Yeah,
they go to like
Yeah, they're pretty
120. Yeah.
You must have a fast car, because I don't think mine goes past 30. Now, when you see something that has scales, can anybody tell me what probably the first thing, when you look at a bathroom scale, when you look at a thermometer, when you look at even a speedometer, okay, what should you be thinking? The first thought that should pop into your mind is, ooh, not much popping into 5th grade minds today. Mrs. Stone,
They didn't Spanish either.
it wasn't? How was Spanish?
I like no English.
No English at all. Full immersion.
Full. And particularly said you're paying attention. I catch on what you repeated and corrected you and whatever. I like that.
There you go. What did we learn? Any new words?
No, stuff they should have already known, whether they remember it or not.
I'll learn new words. I can learn.
Where were we at here? What when you look at scales, the first thing that should pop in your mind, I'll tell you that, is you need to ask yourself, what does each mark stand for? Okay, in other words, you have to figure out what, I hate to use the word to say it, what scale it is in, because sometimes marks, you know, if you are looking at something like this, let's say you're looking at, I don't know, this is your bathroom scale, and it's 40 pounds here, 50 pounds here, somebody weighs 60 pounds, maybe I should have gone a little more than that.
I weigh 60 pounds.
Maybe 60 kilometers, or 60 kilograms. That wouldn't be
Are we
bad.
doing that?
You're having
Okay, huh?
no team, no nothing.
Well,
In other words, this, kids, the first thing you do when you look at something that's measuring, by the way, this is nothing more than a glorified number line. I mean, it's just numbers and tick marks and all that sort of stuff. The first thing you need to do is look at that and go, what do each mark stand for? Is it marked off in 2s? Is it marked off in 5s? Is it marked off in 10s? You know, each mark, what are each increments? What are the jumps for each thing? And if you look at this one, you kind of have to use a little bit of common sense here. You know this is 40. You know this is 50. If there's only one mark halfway between them, the 5th grade logic stands to say that Sammy Bollinger, each mark is, right, each mark would be 5 pounds or whatever it is. So if the mark went right here between 50 and 60, then that has to stand for 55 pounds. Okay, now let's draw one more. Try to draw this as accurately as you can with me. Let's say we're talking about a thermometer, like a speedometer. We're talking about a thermometer, okay, and let's say this mark is, 80 degrees, and this mark here is 70 degrees, and in between you have 4 marks in between there, and let's say that your thermometer went all the way up to right here. I need to draw something better. Let's say your thermometer went up to right. It's kind of hard to see. Say your thermometer went up to right there. Okay, the first thing you want to do is figure out what each increment is. Now on this one here, here's what you need to understand, kids. Listen very carefully to me, because I'll tell you this 1,000 times from here on in. When you're looking for each scale or each tick mark thing, don't count the lines, count the spaces. Okay? Because in between 70 and 80, which is how many degrees? That's 10 degrees. Between 70 and 80, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. So if you take 10 degrees and split it up into 5 spaces, each space stands for how many degrees? 2 degrees. Okay? If I only counted the lines, what I might end up doing is doing this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and saying 10 cut 6 ways, or whatever. But if you count the spaces, then each one is 2 degrees, so this is 72 degrees, 74 degrees, and right here is 76 degrees. Okay, so the first thing when you look at a scale, anything that has numbers and a number line marked into splits, is see what each mark stands for. Okay? And I think you're probably pretty good at it. I don't want to kill the whatever horse there, but here's one more. This one's right out of the book, and I'll draw it just like the book does. Here's our little looking glass. And they give us 400, they give us a 400 here, a 600 here, and the beginning of an 800 over here, and then this little curved line here. They have this, 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 and this. And then the arrow is pointing to right here. What number would that arrow be pointing to? Now you got to go with what you know. First of all, I know that this is 400, that's 600. Okay, I would have to go with what is the line that splits 400 and what is right halfway between 400 and 600, just like this is. This line here would have to be what? This red line I have right here, Caleb, is 500. And then between 500 and 600, I cut that exactly in half. That would be, Ryan? 550, good. You have to use just a little of common sense. Oh, that buzzing noise.
That's just one
Now, don't these people know I have a graph? Take out a blank piece of paper. So we're going to talk a little bit more specifically about temperature.